My jokes are really bad today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. It's just bad. Hello everybody, it's Kristen here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be bringing you guys my October wrap up and my November bookish goals. So that is all the books I read in October and all the books and bookish things I would like to accomplish in the month of November. Normally I do these videos separate, but today I'm going to do them together because I have been super busy and haven't had time to film, so I'm just gonna like mash things together. Hopefully it all turns out good. All right, so let's jump into it. In the month of October, I read 3 books. I'm gonna go through the books individually, say what I rated them, and then go into further detail after. So first, I read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. This is book 2 in the Harry Potter series. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. This is book 1 in the Chronicles of Narnia. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. And then lastly, I finished The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 2 in the Mistborn trilogy, and I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I couldn't remember for a second. So the first book I read in the month of October was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I'm doing a reread of all of the books. I feel like this is a little dim. It is super overcast right now and like really gloomy, and it's perfect reading weather. I do have homework, but I'm gonna try to balance the two. So I am doing a reread of this series, and I'm doing a book a month. So in October, I read the second book. Hint, hint for what I'm going to read in November. And I really enjoyed this. Back in the Harry Potter world, I have only read this series once. And so this is my first time rereading it. The first time I read through the series, this was my favorite book. We'll see if my favorite book stays the same or if it changes. Next up, I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I'm reading the series in publication order instead of the chronological order of Narnia. Being back in the world of Narnia was awesome. I read this series when I was young. I can't remember what age. I'd say maybe like 10, 11, 12. It was like amazing when I read it then. So I really enjoyed reading it, rereading it. I did it as a buddy read with Georgina from Georgina Reads, and both of us commented that this book was so much shorter than we remembered. It was like we breezed through it. I think she read it in like a day, day and a half. I read it in 2 days. There were a bunch of things that were coming up that the movie is pretty accurate to the book. They obviously add a lot onto it to make the movie more exciting, but the movie does stay true to the book, but there's actually things in the book that make it so much more magical than the movie, although the movie's really magical, but just the book is a different experience. So I suggest reading the Chronicles of Narnia. It's a children's series, so it's really easy to get through. And then the last book I read in the month of October was The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. And this baby was the best book of the month. I know, it beat Harry Potter. This was so good. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. The reason why it's not a full 5 is that I felt like it was long. It dragged on in certain parts. He writes the dragged on parts really, really well, but it just was draggy. Every trilogy, the middle book tends to have a slight slump. I know it's setting up for the 3rd book, but it can be pretty slumpy sometimes. And this book had a little bit of a slump. I should clarify that this is an adult fantasy series. We have our main character, Vin, on the cover here, and she is a Mistborn. So basically the magic system in this world is so unique, and I don't want to go into detail trying to explain it to you because it's just so cool and so unique and blows your mind all the time. So the book had a lot more politics involved, and I like kind of politics and political drama in books. I really like that aspect of the planning and how to figure things out, and when you have the different kingdoms and war and all this interesting stuff. And again, the last 50 pages of the book were incredible. In Mistborn, the first book, the last 50 pages blew my mind. Same thing. He just likes to pack so much in the last 50 pages of his books. So this blew my mind, and I think my favorite part of this book and the end of it was how he wrapped everything up. And generally, fantasy series and fantasy worlds have a history to it, but sometimes it's never really delved into the history and why the world is the way it is and everything. But he talks about the history of the world of like the final empire and all the kingdoms and everything. He has history to it, and he explains that history so good. Like, he starts tying things up so well. This book is very driven by plot, so good. I choose plot over characters every time, so I love this. He still really develops his characters really well, and they go through a lot of change. Especially one character in this book goes through a lot of change. He really has a fantastic plot. If you like plot, you will definitely enjoy this series. I just realized that I didn't set my books up, which I normally do. School is taking over my brain. It's not working very well. I apologize. Alright, so that is all the books I read in the month of October. It was a really good month, simply because I actually read a whole big fantasy book while I had midterms and everything, and my friend got married, and I was in the wedding party, so it was a really busy month, but I did get through the Well of Ascension, and that makes me so happy. Moving on to the books I would like to read in November. First book I would like to read in the month of November is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. This is book 3 in the Harry Potter series, so I'm doing a Harry Potter readathon. And this is the next book up. And I already started it, so, I mean, how can you not jump into Harry Potter? And then the next book I would like to read in the month of, sorry, itchy nose. The next book I would like to read in the month of November is Prince Caspian, book 2 in the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I probably will be reading the 3rd book as well. I don't know about the 4th. I'm basically wanting to read this series before the end of the year. Because we're already in November, I kind of need to pick up my game. I'm going to be reading the next book and probably the 3rd, maybe the 4th. Don't know yet. The last book I plan on reading in the month of November is A Long Way Gone, Memoirs of a Boy Soldier by Ishmael Beah. I am joining a book club this month, and it's actually an in-person real life book club in my city, so I'm super excited about it. This is the book that was picked for the month of November. So if you followed me for a while, you will know that I actually have lived in Africa for 10 years. Any book that's kind of set in Africa is close to my heart. I've already started this book and I'm really enjoying it. I think Ishmael Beah, he's on the back of the book. Sorry, this is a library copy. It's got the shiny cover. He is a very poetic writer. His descriptions of things are amazing. So far, I'm about a quarter way into the book, and he writes very physical descriptions, and so it's really incredible. Really enjoying it. And then at the end of the month, I'll let you know my thoughts. I'll let you know how the book club went. It's a bunch of book lovers talking about a book, so probably will go well. Hi again, this is future Kristen. So I just realized while I was editing, in the month of October, I set myself the goal of reading, if I can reach it, reading Eldest by Christopher Paolini. I was planning on reading this with Izzy from Isobel's Literary Musings. I never got to this in October, and so I messaged her and I said, I'm so sorry. And then she replied, she's like, I never got to it either. So we decided that we're gonna take a break from this series, and I might pick it up in December, I don't know, but for now I'm just gonna take a break. So we read the first book, Aragon, so good for us. But we failed on the rest. We'll come back to this. I don't know how soon, but I thought I'd let you know in case you were wondering what was going on. So that is all of the books I read in October and the books I would like to read in November. As for other bookish goals for the month of November, I don't really have any. I'm trying to get through school. Reading is keeping me sane from all the schoolwork I have to do, so I'm trying to balance it. It's very hard. I just got through a whackload of midterms. I have a little bit more of a break, so I'm going to just relax and calm myself and read. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite book you read in October was, and let me know what book you're most excited to read in November is. So give this video a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I'll see you all in my... How do I end my videos? I haven't done this in such a long time. Give this video a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Boom, got that right. Should I repeat it and then like wave into the camera because that's what I always do? Let's just bye.